Welcome back, everyone, to episode 23 of the Post podcast. With me, as always, is Chris Ronan. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Chief? How's things?
I'm loving that jersey behind you.
Thanks, man. I'm
Loving
glad we
it.
fucking finally got it.
Finally got
We did not get scammed
a John Scott jersey, everybody.
from the All-Star game in Nashville. I didn't know it was in Nashville. I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But glad you didn't get scammed. It's not a legitimate jersey, obviously.
Did we talk about that at all?
No, I don't think so. You went through PayPal and assumed you got scammed and emailed them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you get your money back too. That'd be sick.
That'd be sick.
Scam the non-scammer.
I did email the guy back today, and I was like, I just apologize because he was telling me through PayPal because they contact, they're in the middle of everything, and they just so he goes, I'm not a scammer, but I was like whatever, buddy. But yeah, so I went to this website that night. We're talking about John Scott. I went on this website because we wanted the John Scott jersey. So
we each got one too.
We each got one. There's two of them. Yep. So I found them, and I can't remember what the site is. Now I'm thinking about it. I haven't.
It wasn't the one that Alex sent us, right?
No. It
Okay.
was Fire or something. Art Fire.
Sounds legit.
Art Fire.
No wonder you thought you got scammed.
Right. So I ordered the jerseys, and great fucking price for the both of them. I think it was $120 for the both of them.
I'm totally gonna rock this in my
hell
men's
yeah.
league.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, so I ordered them, and no confirmation email, nothing from the seller at all. And a week's gone by, and I've they tell you the seller's email. So I was like, all right, let me email him. No response at all. So then I'm doing research on the website itself, and there is a list of people complaining, saying I've been scammed my money. Don't ever do this. I'm like, no.
That's brutal.
And so I went to PayPal because we did PayPal, and I found out a way for them to go after him. So I finally got a response because of PayPal, and the guys responded saying I gave you the tracking number, but in my defense, the tracking number is still a fake website for some reason.
Okay.
When you click it, it just it's like a fake website that says virus website. I don't get it. But
you're just trying to scam them like you did those old people in Vancouver. Yeah, I'll go to the game.
I got
$60, 2 tickets.
But so PayPal was still fighting for me. The thing is still up, so I could be getting my money back still.
That'd be nice. Especially if it doesn't affect that guy.
Right,
That'd
exactly.
be nice. Totally scam him, dude.
So then yesterday I opened up my front door, and there's a package just sitting there. And I'm like, the hell is this? Because I've totally forgotten about it at this point. And then I grab it and open it up, and all of a sudden John Scott, I'm like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
I'm
so happy
yes,
we got them, dude. It's
so
nice
happy.
looking.
I'm beyond happy. I saw the John Scott jersey. I'm like, yes.
They're so sharp looking, too. Let me actually show you guys the front, too.
All right.
Just because we were going back and forth about, do we show the front? Do we show the back? You kind of got to show the back.
You
when it
gotta
comes to this.
show both sides.
But, the front is, it's got the C. That's a really nice
It came
jersey.
out so beautiful. For the price for the two of them?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's the cost of, one jersey for two. You
Right.
know?
So it took a while because the package came from China. The guy's based in China, so it took a while. So it's probably got fucking never mind. I was gonna say something bad, but yeah, we're gonna skip that. Yikes bikes. So finally got the John Scott jersey. Woo! And yeah, so happy shit about that. But another thing we should all be happy about, and I think this is gonna be a good way to start this podcast we got, is the Great Josh War.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hilarious. I don't know if you guys have heard about this yet, but basically this guy Facebook messaged everyone that has his name, sent a location and set a date and said, let's meet up and decide who the real Josh Swain is.
Right. And by location, it was coordinates, the numbers.
Yeah, latitude, longitude.
Latitude, longitude.
I got latitude, longitude on my sweatshirt.
Yep,
today,
you're
actually.
right.
That's
Yep.
kind of funny.
And when you do it, it's somewhere some random field in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened literally a full year before it actually happened.
And the funny part to me is there's been a ton of these memes online.
Right.
Obviously nothing's ever happened. Everyone's
No.
yeah, that's
It's
hilarious. We all have the same name, but
It's
cool.
that Area 51 thing where you're just I was shocked people even showed up.
That was funny, dude. Those were a bunch of weirdos that did it, though.
Right. But the fact that COVID time and everything, people were still no, we're going out. All of us Joshes are gonna fight.
Yeah. The noodles were great.
That's
I thought that was
awesome.
a great call.
There was a noodle fight. There was a group of Joshes that got in a line and was doing rock paper scissors. Gotta love people at that point. But anyway, so to explain the Great Josh War, on April 24th, 2020, 22-year-old college student Josh Swain, like Chris had started the group message with all the Josh Swains who could find. The war was set in an exact year later on April 24th, 2021. Again with coordinates to Nebraska, and whoever won got to keep the name Josh Swain while the others had to change their names. So insane that people showed up. He goes, "Yeah,
I think
put my
it'd be
name
awesome
on the line."
if the original guy that sent it like paid for a notary or whatever to be there and forced them all to change their names. Like, that would be awesome. Even if it was just like by the slightest degree, it has to be Josh with like a silent E at the end. Like there's only one Josh Swain now, and it's this guy.
And there is one Josh now, just to let everyone know. So lo and behold, hundreds of Joshes arrived for the fight, and 4-year-old Lincoln, Nebraska resident Josh Vincent Jr., a.k.a. Little Josh, was crowned the winner. I said, God help all the departments dealing the name changes now, because there's a lot of Joshes that's going to be changing their names.
Going back to the Area 51 thing, the best part of that was the news reporter that was out there, and someone does like the Naruto run
just
right behind
back.
him. Oh, man, so funny.
That was brutal.
Classic meme times.
Remember like the military was like scared shitless. They're just like, I think these guys are gonna go, and
they did, but there was like maybe like 80 of them. It was a decent number, but like they didn't actually do anything. Honestly. They were just like outside there.
Meme, and like some guy showed up with like just merchandise because he knew he could get money.
Oh yeah.
But nothing compared to this, man. You should see the pitches.
I mean, there's no
put pictures down there for everyone.
There's no threat to die at the Josh War.
No.
Well, technically there is, but Area 51, there's actual military people with guns.
It's like Civil War when was it Civil War or was it Avengers? Fucking big Marvel guy. I can't remember. I think it was Civil War.
It's definitely Civil War. Yeah.
Steve Captain America goes up to Bucky and he goes, "Bucky?" He goes, "Who the hell's Bucky?" It's like when he changes Josh and Mom. He goes home to Mom. He goes, "Josh." He goes, "Who the hell's Josh?"
I've never seen the Avengers movies. I've seen just like the first two. I'm waiting on the Hulk from Gomes.
Yeah. So
let's call him out.
Yeah, we're gonna call him out on that. Actually, so I actually thought about that last week, and I don't know. He should have it. I just haven't seen him in a while.
That's cool.
But that is a movie I want to buy. So the Hulk movie you're talking about is the Edward Norton one.
Yeah. So my wife and I don't think she's seen any of them either, and I'm like the worst movie guy ever. I think someone sent me like the top 9 movie franchises, and it's like if you had to pick 3, which one would you pick? And I was like, well, I've seen the first Star Wars, and I've seen like a Jurassic Park movie, but haven't seen any of the rest of them. So up to you. But my wife and I were doing the Avengers, and we wanted to watch them in order. Mm-hmm. We can't find the Hulk one, so Matt said that his buddy Matt has it. So we're going to see if he can let us borrow it for a bit.
Matt was good with collecting all the movies, where I was collecting like the movies that like we personally loved.
Yeah.
Like
the Captain America one was really good. I like that one a lot.
The first one?
Yeah.
It's kind of cringe. Like when you go back and like rewatch it, like after a while you go back and you're like, oh God. Especially when like
what?
Like Bucky toward the end, and he's just like, "Let's give it to for Captain America," and everyone's like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
But so back in
that's how bad I am with movies. I don't know who Bucky is.
Right.
Bucky's like a rabbit.
The Winter Soldier. Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah. So back when this all started, like back in like high school, this all started. Like DC was still big. Like we were like. Sorry, Dr. Manhattan. What the fuck movie is that? The Watchmen. That's when DC was big, and Dark Knight.
The Watchmen
Dark Knight
is DC?
Rises. Watchmen is DC.
That. I've heard good things about that movie.
Oh yeah, real good movie. And then all of a sudden, Marvel just started jumping in there, like the Hulk movies, and then Iron Man came out, and so like
I liked Hancock with Will Smith. That was a good one.
It's not even. It's got nothing.
Who's that? Is that Marvel or DC?
None of them. None of them, buddy. None of them.
With you. That's a good movie though. Have you seen it? Oh, it's Hitchcock. No, it's Hancock. Hitchcock's the one with
Hitchcock and
it's
Hancock,
the one. It's
right?
the one. I think it's with Will Smith too. But Hitchcock is like, I think he like hooks people up.
I think Hancock's the one who's like superhero, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they asked for John Hancock, and he writes John Hancock.
Yeah. So like, for the 10 years, like we'd go every single movie that came out. We went to the movie theaters to go see. So we've seen them all in order. So like
that's what I'm trying to do.
But
I'm not trying to watch them like in order that they came out. We found a list of like the order that they chronologically go in. You know, so I can like actually get the whole timeline.
Right.
So we're doing that.
So we'll definitely. Gomes has the whole thing. So I wonder if I could just be like, hey, can I borrow that whole thing and just like bring it to you?
Damn,
guys
that'd be sweet. But I think all of them are on the Disney Plus except for that one for some godforsaken reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Hulk one isn't on there. And I tried. We have everything. Like we have Prime, Netflix, Hulu.
Just can't find it.
It's not on there. You know.
That's like me, and as of late, I've been wanting to rewatch Need for Speed, Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift. You ever see that
Just
one?
that one specifically?
Just that one specifically.
No,
and
I saw
can't
the
find
first one when I was real young. Like, oh no, I shouted out Star Wars and Jurassic Park, but Fast and Furious was the other one. It wasn't on that 9 block that I said.
Yeah.
But that's one movie that I've seen the first one and nothing else.
That was it.
I'm not a movie
You're not
TV
a
guy.
movie guy.
I'm watching Lost. I think I mentioned it before. Watching Lost for the first time ever, like currently.
Isn't that insane? Because like that's like
That was a
you're
big one.
finally watching something I've never watched. Well, that's a lie. I've watched like the first couple episodes.
It's really
like, the
good.
first
Like the
season.
first 3 seasons. Tommy said that to me in the Discord too.
Yeah.
Me, Tommy, and Joe were watching at the same speed, and then we all got off pace. But the first 3 seasons are super good because it's all on the same like timeline thing. But after that, they have to like stretch a little bit, so it gets different. But I like it a lot. It's really good. It's gripping. Every episode
interesting.
makes you want to watch the next one. You know.
Right. And then me and Joe. Actually, you're the only one I think in the Discord that doesn't watch anime because
I watch a little bit, but I'm a closet anime guy. You know.
like My Hero Academia, like what I'm wearing.
Yeah,
now. You like that? I know that.
Yep. That's good.
But yeah, I gotta find you that that actual incredible.
There's a
Incredible
couple
Hulk.
different Hulk movies I think that came out, but anyways, we'll move on to hockey.
Yeah,
for
we'll
the,
move on to hockey.
Post podcast here.
This is a hockey podcast, by the way. Want to talk about Lord of the Rings for the next 20 minutes?
No, but you can.
So moving on to what happened this week. 2 retirements happened this week. Ryan Miller and Andrew Shaw announced their retirements. Andrew Shaw announced his retirement, unfortunately due to concussions he suffered. Shaw has 2 Stanley Cups with the Chicago Blackhawks, 10 years in the league with the Blackhawks with 544 games played. Shaw was placed on injured reserve due to concussion protocol on February 11th and hasn't played since. So, you got to assume it was like one of those where he's like, yeah, I don't think I could come back. And his doctor's like, yeah, we don't think you can come back. I was trying to figure out the injury, I couldn't find it at all. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's just becoming more of a front of the, how do I say this? Like the front of your mind issue, especially in like the NFL and the NHL. I think are probably the top 2 that come to mind. Just doesn't happen too often in baseball.
No.
Not too often in basketball. Soccer's probably number 3, maybe number 2, probably number 3.
Yeah.
There are head issues in soccer, but they haven't brought them to the light as much as these 2 sports. And I think with hockey, there are small head traumas that can happen that lead to concussions that like kind of seems like run-of-the-mill play.
Right.
And the guy's actually concussed and messed up, you
Right.
know, especially where it's like time after time kind of thing, where like offensive linemen, defensive linemen in football, they're huge for concussion protocol because of it's just constant. Like even though it's small to us, them hitting head to head
Right.
every single play,
Mm-hmm.
it's wear and tear over time rather than the big collision that you see when a wide
Right.
receiver gets nailed. You know,
Exactly. Speaking of concussion, I'm going to go same topic, but kind of off topic with hockey. Another sport, I guess. Ever since the Tochi Notion episode, like I keep getting sumo wrestler stuff, and since I was looking up concussions, I don't think it was a Tochi Notion match. Now I'm thinking about it, but it was a sumo wrestling match, and one of the guys like got hit, like concussed, like bad to the point where like he couldn't stand up. He tried to stand up and sit down, but just fall down. But it's so weird for sumo because no one was helping him out. Like the other sumo wrestler guy who's just in position, just like kind of waiting. The refs weren't doing anything. The guys that were waiting around just like refused to touch him.
is it like a boxing thing, like 1, 2, 10, like count to 10?
No, they're just like, I don't know if he can't. He's got to like personally get up and be like, yeah, I can't do this. It's like no one's helping him out. I'm like, it's got to be something. That's something
It's
like
a
that's got to change.
culture shock kind of thing.
Yeah.
I bet they're just behind because it's such like
Just an old.
an old fashioned way of looking
But I think
at it.
they got to catch up with the times and be like, hey, like
They might, but they
He's
look at that
messed
as
up.
they probably look at that as such a traditional sport that these are the ways. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, interesting. Yeah.
One thing I want to go on a tangent about real quick. Did you see the UFC fight from last week?
No.
This was last Saturday, so it was after we recorded. The UFC fighter, it probably wasn't the title match. I don't know. I don't follow UFC too closely. He won his match without throwing a single strike. No punch, no kick.
Holy
Did you
shit!
see it?
No.
The dude, the opposing fighter, threw a kick at his like thigh, and the dude braced his knee to like block it, his knee, his shin, and the dude's shin shattered around his leg like this. And they showed in slow-mo replay, so the leg's like this.
God,
he comes back and he goes to like step back on his leg, and it just folds. Disgusting clip. But it's wild to think that someone won a UFC fight without throwing a single punch or kick.
That's insane.
Yeah, I was like, that's nuts.
God,
it's happened before, and I think the fighter that threw the strike that broke his own leg, had Anderson Silva do that to him to lose a fight before. I think that's the story.
Jesus.
It was disgusting to watch. It looked like rubber. It was like Gumby. Ugh. Sorry.
That's one thing that makes me cringe. Also, the worst, I found something that like I have a hard time watching, and it's the arm wrestling where like they go all out, and the arm just snaps.
That's
and
the
I'm
equivalent.
Like, Jesus. I can't do it. I can't do it.
And one last thing. You ever see Russian slap boxing?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Russian because what the fuck?
Because no one else would fucking do it.
But there's this big, beefy dude with a big beard, and he's just like the champ and just chums people. Just slams them. And you see like powder.
I love how he's got like chalk just ready to go.
And the other dude hits him, and he just sits there and takes it, looks at him, and then just like clobbers the guy, knocks him out
fucking
cold.
Dead.
Oh, highlight reel shit. I'm never doing that in my life. Slap boxing.
That's fucked. So we're gonna go back here to again, unfortunately for
back to concussion protocol.
Back to concussion protocol.
Getting slapped in the mouth.
Oh Jesus. So yeah, unfortunate for Andrew Shaw, but I think it's definitely the right call. And I think he was in a not a meeting, but they were interviewing him, and he's like, it's pretty much my doctor that was like, hey, you shouldn't go back.
The video he put out that was really cool too was, I think his nickname was the Mutt.
Yep.
And his big highlight was like, thanks for giving the Mutt a home in Chicago. And it was awesome to see.
Awesome.
Like, he's a third line, fourth line grinder, and he really pulls his own weight. He's probably like their Sean Thornton, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
He's great. I like him a lot.
Sure. And so Ryan Miller also announced his retirement again, by the way. So Ryan Miller announced his retirement this week. Ryan Miller came back from retirement at the beginning of the season with the Ducks after signing a one-year deal with them. The 40-year-old veteran now holds most wins by U.S. goaltender in NHL history with 390, passing John Van Briesbroek, who had 374. Jonathan Quick is still in the race with 334 wins so far.
He's totally going to pass him.
Yeah, he might. Miller entered the league back in 2002 with the Sabres, then in 2013 signed with the Blues, then Canucks, and finally the Ducks. He won the Vezina Trophy back in 2009, and this is where things get crazy. For Buffalo, he broke multiple franchise records. He led games played as a goalie with 540, leads in minutes played by goalie with 31,661.
Timeout. Is this franchise records not just by an American? It's just franchise record?
Just franchise record.
Okay.
Yep. Franchise leader in career wins with 284 and holds franchise record for most wins in a season with 41 back in 2009. So Ryan Miller's been like the GOAT but he's again one of those goalies that like who never saw a cup.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of him, I think Buffalo, and I think he carried the load a lot for them during the time that he was there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hall of Fame? No.
I don't know.
I think no. Hockey Hall of Fame?
Maybe Hockey Hall of Fame, especially for what he did for U.S., breaking the U.S. Goaltender for passing with like the wins and everything.
I don't think so. What do you think he did? You said no Stanley Cups, right?
No Stanley Cups.
No, he got one Vezina.
We got the one Vezina.
No, definitely not Hockey Hall of Fame.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, he's great. He's not. I don't know if he'd even go as far as to say great. Like, he had a great career, but I wouldn't say he is a great goaltender.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
You had a point. One thing I thought of when you said that, though, was I was watching, it was just a clip of Spittin' Chicklets, and was it Ryan Whitney or, it was Paul Bissonnette, and they were talking about Brad Marchand, and Paul was just like, he was saying just straight to the Hall of Fame. Like, he's already there. I'm like, Brad Marchand? Like, really? Like, he's good, but I just don't see that. So when you say Ryan Miller not in the Hall of Fame, and I thought of that, and I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, I don't, like, off cuff, I don't know Marchand's, like, stats and what he's done
right
to cement him in the Hall of Fame. They have one cup. They have a lot of, like, appearances. if I were to pick a player on the Bruins during that time frame, I would go Zdeno Chara or Patrice Bergeron.
Period.
Like, Marchand is probably a better pure goal scorer than both of them.
Right.
But
and that's only happened recent.
Yes and no. Like, he was a rat and he was doing all this shit, and it's just like been a scale like this where it's gone like skyrocketed over the past 5 seasons, I would say.
Yeah.
But I just think Bergeron and Chara have meant far more to the team as a whole than Marchand has.
Yep,
you know,
for sure.
But lately, like, I could see it. If Marchand continues on the path he's on, hell yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have you seen the sliding scale of what McDavid is doing this season? If it was an 82-game season, you know what I mean? Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. No, I heard
he's
about
like up there with the top 10 performances all time in history.
Oh my god!
And the top 10 are all Gretzky, Lemieux, Gretzky, Lemieux.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and it's like McDavid could slot in at, I think it was 9.
Wow.
Yeah, like if they scaled what he has done in this
For a
time frame
regular season
to an 82 game, yeah.
Wow.
And I want to say Matthews obviously isn't to the same scale, but he's like doing that well there too. He's made some amazing plays this season.
Oh yeah,
It's unreal. And the fact that anyone thinks the Bruins are going to win the Cup is just ridiculous.
Unbelievable. It's like there's 31 other teams, buddy. Like, come on, you got to pick. Like Ottawa has
30 other teams, 31 other teams next season.
Next
because
season, yeah.
Seattle has cemented all of their. What was it?
They finished paying all their dues.
All their dues to the league prior to entering.
It was a shit ton. It was like 600 million or something like that.
Insane.
It was some crazy.
But they're there. They're happening, and I just might buy a hat next season. Who knows? I'm always like early on them, especially now.
You were
like,
early with Vegas.
I was, yeah. And I think Seattle, they have the same expansion draft rules, so I imagine they're going to do just as well as Vegas did. You know,
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. It'll be nice talk for the offseason to see who they're going to draft from each team and what they're going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved, like, Vegas was the first real expansion draft that I lived through where I was like, these guys are going to, like, be something. They're going to say F you to the other 30 teams in the league.
Right.
You know? I thought
and
that was super cool.
they technically have.
Oh, they absolutely did.
Right.
First year, they went to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Capitals and, like, barely lost.
Right.
You know?
And they haven't had, like, a bad season yet.
Yeah.
So, but, shit. Now you got me thinking about Ryan Miller. I guess,
I just don't think he's up there.
No.
Like, name top 10 all-time goalies.
Oh, easily. Like Monty Brodeur, Terry Sawchuk. Yeah, like
Curtis Joseph.
Yeah, Cujo. You got Patrick Waugh. You got
Jerry Cheevers.
Would you put Jacques Plante up there?
Jacques Plante, yeah.
Jacques Plante.
And now, like, do you put Ryan Miller even anywhere close to those guys? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
He's like Jonathan Quick. Even Jonathan Quick has 2 cups. Ryan Miller has 0.
Right.
I would put Jonathan Quick like 10 pegs, 12 pegs above Miller.
Right. And another thing, too, is most wins by a U.S. goaltender. So what would you do just as a goaltender all around? Now take that stat and put goaltender all around. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What are you saying? Like most wins of any goaltender?
Most wins of any goaltender.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Just compare that.
Most wins of all goalies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that could be just.
Let's have you turn into the next topic, and I'll see what most wins of all goaltenders is.
Okay. So what also happened this week, and I guess it's been going on for a couple weeks, but finally happened. NHL and Turner Sports have a 7-year agreement. NHL and Turner Sports announced a 7-year agreement that will have regular seasons, Stanley Cup playoffs, and Stanley Cup final games televised on TNT and TBS starting next season. Turner Sports joins Walt Disney Co. and ESPN as NHL's national media rights partners. There's also been talk about HBO Max showing live games. This deal is reportedly worth $225 million per season. ESPN is paying $400 million for the same time period. Also, this week, NBC Sports withdrew from the bidding for the NHL's second TV package this week, which is interesting. I've been loving watching NHL, on NBC, but they pulled out. So next year is going to be a total different experience. I do think this is going to be great news, and I think we'll get more hockey fans through it. Like, I don't know, like how many people do you know watch ESPN that don't watch hockey? Like hockey's on like NH, like again NBCSN, or just like your local, like for us in Boston it's NESN, like New England Sports Network. So when you put it on ESPN, there's a bunch of guys that watch, football and baseball and stuff that watch ESPN. So now that it's going to be on there, maybe that's going to get their fans on there. Maybe maybe hockey's going to grow. Who knows? But I think this will be good for the league. I think it'll be different, especially for us. And I think this gives us more. I think this gives us way more ways to watch the games. Whereas now it's been kind of difficult. I think we were talking earlier, like in the beginning, that I got rid of cable, so it's been kind of difficult. But thank God I found a way to watch the games. But I think now there'll be plenty of ways for people to watch hockey.
I think TNT and TBS is like, it's probably just a recency bias, but it's like a weird platform to watch them on. Like when I was growing up, TNT was all NBA.
Yeah.
Very NBA focused. And TBS was all comedy focused.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see. I really liked Versus when they had the NHL.
I loved that.
The product they put out.
Yep.
I think Fox had like the puck tracker thing that flopped really hard. But for new viewers, if they could refine that with the technology we have nowadays, that could really grow the sport. Because when I was a kid watching with my father, I started playing hockey after I graduated high school. I think we talked about that before.
Yep.
But when I was watching hockey growing up, the main thing I didn't like was like, I don't know where the fuck the puck is. Like everybody's moving. I can't really track it. And I don't know what they could do, but maybe you could put like almost the NHL 21 ring around the player who has the puck at the time. So like new players, new viewers could be like, this guy has the puck right now.
Right.
And you could really track and see where it's going kind of thing.
I don't know if COVID had anything to do with it, because I still say, when we were talking about this, I still say on like the back of the jerseys, on the back right, there's like this
it's a
line
tracker
thing.
Yep,
It is a tracker.
They confirmed
so
it
I
is.
think they're working on it, but with COVID, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of difficult. But I feel like next season
they could do something with that.
They could
absolutely, because they're tracking everything. You know, that's just pure stats.
Right.
They took it out of the puck. It was in the puck for a bit. They said.
Oh, they did?
It was confirmed too. Yeah, they tried to use it before
I remember
playoffs
that, because they were
too.
saying, the puck went like 70 miles an hour or something like that. I remember that. They could have done so much more. It's, again, a random ass stat, but interesting at the same time.
Yeah, remember, like, I think you brought it up one episode. Hedman had miles skated per game.
Oh, yeah,
remember?
that's right.
And it's because of the tracker they had in his jersey. They
Right.
knew how many miles he skated. It's so weird.
So weird.
But I did pull up the all-time wins list here. And surprisingly, Ryan Miller is 14th all-time. He passed Dominik Hasek, who had 389, and Miller has 390. So you do have a great argument there, but
Right.
I just don't know. Ready?
Who's right above him?
I can run down the list real quick. Like, I think all of these guys are guaranteed Hall of Fame. You stop me when you hear one you think is not guaranteed Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
We have Martin Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, Roberto Luongo, Marc-Andre Fleury, Ed Belfour, Henrik Lundqvist, Curtis Joseph, Terry Sawchuk, Jacques Plante, Tony Esposito, Glenn Hall, Grant Fuhr, Chris Osgood, Ryan Miller, Dominik Hasek, Mike Vernon, John Van Beesbrook, Andy Moog, Tom Barrasso, Pekka Rinne, Carey Price. Like, I'll stop there, but that's about where it gets close.
Right.
Like, he's probably in, dude.
He's probably in with that list.
You said he had all those stats, but he had what? One Vezina?
He had one Vezina.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be interesting to see.
Right.
I wonder what the wait period is for someone to enter. You know how sports have that, right?
Yeah, all of a sudden
they can overrule it for like certain players that are like, he's fucking in. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
who because of COVID, someone retired into the Hall of Fame, but because of COVID, I think it's next season he's gonna do it instead.
I know Willie O'Ree was delayed.
Willie O'Ree.
It was him that was delayed.
Yep, it was him that was delayed. But he's been out for how long? So like,
I think it's Hockey Hall of Fame as a.
A
mark in history.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
I think like Bettman's gonna get in, but it's not for his performance in the league.
Right.
It's for what he's done for the game.
Right.
Just like what Willie O'Ree did for the game.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But I think the real delay was because of COVID, like you said.
Yep.
But so that they could have fans while they raise his number, kind of thing.
I don't know. It would be again. It'll be interesting.
Now I think I look like the idiot saying that he's not going to make it because with that list, when he's 14 and we cut it off at like 19, he's probably in there.
Probably in there,
but
for sure.
I don't know.
It's funny when you said Roberto Luongo too. As soon as you said Roberto Luongo, I'm like, Ryan Miller's in.
That was a question mark for me too. I was like,
Yep.
Luongo didn't really get anything done, but he played so long.
Yep. So I don't know if Roberto Luongo's in, Ryan Miller's in.
That's probably the point of the scale that tips. It's either Luongo's in and Miller's in, or Luongo's out and then Miller's out. You know what I mean?
Right,
if Luongo can't make it, then I don't think Miller should. But if Luongo can, then Miller probably has an argument.
Right.
You know?
And Miller's made a mark in the league too. I don't know.
I think Luongo's made a significantly bigger mark in the league than Miller has, because
for sure.
This is going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to ask it, but Luongo has been to the Cup and competed and was a competitor for many years.
Right.
I don't know if Miller and the Sabres were. I don't know, and I'm not going to put you on the spot with it, but that could be the deciding factor.
I can't remember because it's been so long, but I don't know.
I don't either at all.
I can't think.
But you already tackled the NHL and Turner, right? So
yeah, I already tackled that. If you
want to
look up when Buffalo went to the how they did in the playoffs.
I feel like Buffalo, the last time they were big in the playoffs was Dominik Hasek.
Oh, maybe.
It was with that red and black jerseys,
right?
That's the last time I remember him, because you mentioned the angry hamster jersey before. I don't remember seeing that in the playoffs. I feel like Buffalo is kind of like a Toronto Maple Leafs in the East. They would get bounced early.
Right.
But I could be entirely wrong.
That might be it.
And the fact that the Canucks go to the Stanley Cup Finals, that puts them to the front of people's mind when it comes to Roberto Luongo.
Right.
I don't think Miller's in the front of people's mind because the Sabres went to the finals with him, know? I don't think. I'm probably fucking clueless, but we can move on to the next topic, and I can see what I can find, but I don't think I'm going to get anything here.
No, that's fine. Definitely an interesting topic at hand. But so anyway, what else happened this week was Devils end affiliation with their AHL affiliate. The New Jersey Devils have parted ways with the Binghamton Devils after 4 seasons with a year left in their initial agreement. They'll be going on to their 9th AHL team. The Devils organization has been known to just leave teams in the dust with little to no explanation. New Jersey said they were operating their AHL team with a loss because of the lack of attendance. There's been talk of New Jersey moving their AHL team to a new city, and the reports are saying Utica. The Utica Comets president, Robert Esch, registered the name Utica Devils. Why can't I say Utica right? Utica Devils as trademark with the U.S. Government Trademark and Patent Office this month, suggesting they may not be affiliated with the Vancouver Canucks in 2021-2022. According to Nicole Menner from WBNG 12 News, Binghamton Devils Vice President of Operations Tom Mitchell said the New Jersey Devils informed him this week that the AHL team will be relocated. Mitchell said the demands they put on Binghamton ownership were absolutely impossible and they couldn't comply. The Canucks have a 6-year deal with the Comets, which began in 2019. That features an opt-out option after this season. The Canucks would have to opt out in order for the Devils to take over, but with the move from Robert Esch to trademark Utica Devils, it seems like it's going to happen.
It's so interesting. I don't understand a large portion of this, but does Robert Esch doing this mean the Utica Comets are... What are they? The what Comets? Vancouver?
They're the Utica Comets for the Vancouver as currently.
And so Vancouver has their AHL team all the way in Utica, New York?
Yep.
Holy shit. They reworked a lot of the AHL teams to be closer to the NHL affiliate.
Yeah, but that was the same as the Worcester Sharks for San Jose.
They changed it.
They're all over, so it's just all over the place,
But they're not anymore. That's what
they're
I mean.
not. Yeah.
They reworked it.
Right.
So this could be part of that rework where now maybe Ash just wants out of Vancouver and to be in for the Devils AHL team, which,
right,
like you said, doesn't look like a smart move, where the Devils have kind of pounded their AHL team 4 or 5 times, like you said, you know, in the past.
So
I don't know.
Interesting move, and the fact that they've already called it the Utica Devils too is already just
they've trademarked it. That's kind of like a stamp that it's going to happen,
right?
For sure.
It's just weird. When I was reading about the Devils team just dusting them too. It's just
it's fucked up. But they've done it before.
They've done it before where just they didn't explain why.
I've heard this was financial.
They were the Albany River Rats at one point, and someone I can't remember what thing I was reading, but they're just they didn't tell us at all if they were doing it.
Dude,
it just,
think about how competitive of a market the metropolitan area is. You have the Washington Capitals, the New Jersey Devils, the Philadelphia Flyers, the New York Rangers, the New York Islanders, and arguably the Boston Bruins, all within a decent driving distance of that one fucking area.
Right.
And now you want to have 6, 7 AHL teams all in that one area and expect to take a share when they could pay, I don't know, let's say $20 more than what they're paying to go to the AHL game to go sit in the nosebleeds at the NHL game.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, that's just a tough market to be in. And the East Coast is definitely one of the fastest growing hockey.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
hotspots.
That too. And I didn't like the fact that the New Jersey was just like, it took it as a loss because of the lack of attendance. I'm like, COVID happened, buddy. Like, AHL is having like a really rough go.
Yeah.
The NHL
They're
is
lucky
only,
to even get it off.
NHL is like the only like hockey, well, in North America that's like still like going, and they're able to do it right. But again, the AHL, OHL, we were just talking about them having like because of COVID. So it's like you're blaming them on something they don't have any control over. And again,
I think the main portion of that isn't the lack of attendance. They're operating at a loss. So they're
Right.
looking at it as a business perspective. But
Right.
you're absolutely right. Like, the NHL teams are operating at a loss with no attendance. They're
Right,
not selling
exactly.
beer, hot dogs, anything.
No. So I don't know. It's just I didn't like the way they're doing it, and the fact when I was learning about this will be their 9th AHL team, and they've
Yeah.
done teams like this before with like zero explanation why. They're just like, hey, I don't know, figure this shit out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a slimy business decision, and that's just what it is. It's just business.
Right.
And it just sucks that it has to be a slimy state like New Jersey that does it. You ever driven through New Jersey, dude? I fucking hate New Jersey. All right.
fucking
Dusty. All right, Ryan Miller here. His career for Buffalo was 2002 to 2014. The last time the Buffalo Sabres went to the Stanley Cup Finals was 1999, and they lost the Stanley Cup Finals, but they made it 3 rounds, obviously.
Okay.
So Ryan Miller comes in 2002. They miss 3 seasons of playoffs. They lose the conference finals twice. They miss 2 seasons. They get bounced in the first round for 2 seasons, and he played until 14, so they missed 3 more seasons of playoffs. So they did go to the conference finals
In the
twice with him,
yeah.
and
So
that's it. That's it.
2009 was his Vezina. Am I right?
Yep, 09, they
what
missed
did
the
they do in
playoffs.
09? And they missed the playoffs, and he still got Vezina?
If we call it 09-10, they lost in the first round. And I'm thinking that's probably what
That's
it is,
probably
because
what it was, yeah.
you don't usually have a Vezina goalie that misses playoffs,
Missed the playoffs, right.
So they were 45, 27, and 10 in the year that they lost in the first round. But that's not much difference than missing playoffs, 41, 32, and 9.
No.
So I don't know. It could have been that year. But I'm assuming his 09 stats would be 08, 09, no?
Right.
Probably missed the playoffs. I don't know. But either way, I mean, losing the conference finals twice, that's decent.
Right.
But it's like, that just doesn't look Hall of Fame to me.
No.
I don't know. But
It's difficult to be, in that sense, though, it's difficult for a goalie with those stats to, it's like, it's banking on not just your play, but like the play of like your teammates
team.
scoring to
and
be like, hey.
it almost links to like a Taylor Hall type player who's MVP for his team in New Jersey that year, but has done not much else in his career otherwise.
No. Right.
Top tier draft pick, but
He's been.
is he Hall of Fame kind of thing? He's close.
He's close. He's not. I'd say decent right now at the Bruins.
Would you say he's comparable to Ryan Miller?
No, I would think Ryan Miller has more of a
Clout to him
than Taylor
does?
Hall. 'Cause Taylor Hall's been bounced around.
So has Ryan Miller.
So
5
has
different
Ryan
teams.
Miller.
And Hall really, like, before he was bounced around, it was Edmonton, New Jersey for a solid stretch.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe he is the right comparison.
I don't know. But we're also comparing a player to a goalie.
Exactly. And I think it's much harder to become a player in the Hockey Hall of Fame than it is a goalie.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because, I mean, there's 2 goalies on every team compared to
There's 2 goals on every team.
40 players, 30 players.
But you're also fighting for your spot every season. Like,
So are the players.
So are the players. I don't know. I guess in both senses, it's just like it's just rough. But like for goalies too, you work through like so many like. I mean, players get injured too, but like for goalies too, like playing in and out, like I don't know, like hip injuries, getting run into and shit, concussions and everything. Like
I don't see the argument there because players have the same thing. They get actually hit legally,
Right.
Anytime a goalie gets hit, it's not a legal hit.
I don't know. We'll have to write that down and see what happens.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I mean, Hall versus Miller for the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I mean,
I don't think adverse.
The other no, it's comparison. So we're like looking at them versus each other. But the other issue here is that Hall has more time in his career and Miller's done. So maybe we wait and see where Hall ends up at the end of his career and then compare them. but it's just seeing him so high on that wins list that makes me think he might get in. Now that that we looked it up and you saw it. But I don't think there's anything that's like that flash in the pan for Hall to get him in.
Right. And I wonder if we could compare other stats to guys who have been in the Hall of Fame to Ryan Miller and be like, oh, okay, they didn't get a Stanley Cup either. They were a Vezina just that one season.
Yeah, this will be a good dive for us for next week, probably.
Right. We could probably
circle back to it and see how many goalies in the Hall of Fame have no cups.
Right.
Very few trophies kind of thing.
Yep. So we'll move on to interesting news. It's still not good, but we're getting there. You there?
I'm here, buddy.
So, National Women's Hockey League salary cap doubles. The NWHL will double its salary cap from $150,000 to $300,000 per team.
It's all about money coming in the back door here.
Right.
It's funding. It's NBC getting on board.
Right.
And honestly, it's like equality across the board that's making this happen. Could you imagine if the NHL salary cap doubled? 82 mil to 164 mil?
Fucking God.
Yeah.
That's
like
insane.
NBA players,
It's based on a 20-player roster. The average salary would rise from $7,500 to $15,000 per player. And that insane. Like you're like NWHL, you play professional women's hockey, and here's a check for $7,500.
I want to see. Honestly, I think the best comparison for the NWHL is the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see where their salaries start to go compared to this and watch it over the next few years. Because I think they're both at the same level. Not a lot of people follow lacrosse, professional lacrosse the way it is. Mm-hmm. I've been super on board, super behind professional lacrosse, just like I've been super on board and behind the NWHL. I watched the Cup Finals, the Isabel Cup Finals, and I've been watching the PLL for a couple of years now. So I'm really looking forward to both of these sports growing. And I would love to see something more happen, I think that I personally should invest more into the NWHL compared to what I have invested into the NHL.
Right.
For
sure. They definitely deserve the money. We were talking earlier with the Isabel Cup, and the women there are like, one of them's a teacher. Mm-hmm. She was teaching like in between games and everything. So I don't know. They definitely deserve the money for what they're doing. This is a right step. But anyway, despite COVID, the 6-team league has seen an increase of sponsors and viewers, like what you were saying. The Isabel Cup playoffs were televised across the U.S. for the first time with an average audience of over 100,000 per game. The NWHL's Twitch produced over 2 million views and generated a 260% increase in year-over-year following. And $15,000 is still not enough for these players to consider this a full-time job, but compare that to the $7,500 average salary players we're getting, and it's a big jump, and it's in the right direction to interest more women hockey players to consider professional hockey. They kind of got to get there, though. 6 teams, they're getting that light.
I mean, I think there's going to be, honestly, this is my honest opinion, I really support the women and women's hockey. I think there's got to be another fold and a new league to pop up. And it would be so cool to me to see them do exactly what the PLL has done.
Yeah.
Turn it into a traveling circus.
Right.
Like the PLL, the teams don't have the Boston Cannons. The Boston Cannons left the MLL when they folded and became the Cannons. Mm-hmm. The other teams in the league are the Archers, the Chaos. There's no city affiliated with them.
Yep.
And the whole league travels to different cities just to spread the game. And I think that's exactly what the NWHL has to do.
It's difficult right now with COVID, but when everything's go back to normal, hell yeah.
Tough season to see last year for PLL too. Same issue. Right. But if they can do that and turn it into you get to travel and see the world as a professional women's hockey player, that's pretty cool.
Right.
And eventually make it, because hockey's much bigger in Canada, where lacrosse is literally basically just the U.S. because our indigenous people played it.
Right.
That's the main focus. But for the women's hockey, they could do that up in Canada too and stretch there and become more international as well. Go to Europe.
Oh yeah, for sure, and get cities to be even smaller cities and be like, hey, listen, this weekend NWHL's here and they're gonna be playing.
And the tickets are cheap, dude.
A tournament.
I could go to Gillette Stadium for the weekend that the PLL's here. Tickets start at $25.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
I could bring my family there and not be bankrupt when I leave Fenway Park, when I go to the fucking Red Sox game.
Right.
It's insane, dude. You go there for 2 people to stay for 7 innings and end up dropping $200, not including tickets.
It's all I did was pay for a fucking hot dog.
I got to be bored and get a sunburn. Thanks. Could have done that at the beach.
I have two photos of me at the Sox game. One was like, I don't know if it's got to, because Fenway Park hasn't changed since fucking 1912.
I think that's honestly the best thing they have going for them, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it's
for the history. I mean,
yeah.
Boston's all history, but at the same time, if Boston's become a shithole with like history, though, we need to fucking.
Oh boy.
We need to change, like. What's the word I'm looking for? We need to like kind of.
Listen, we can dust Ottawa. We can dust New Jersey. I don't think we should dust Boston. I don't think we should.
Dude,
we might be done.
Boston's already fucking dusted itself. You know how many potholes I fucking almost destroyed my truck in trying to get to your house today?
Yeah.
Like this city needs a whole like rebuild to be like, all right, we got the historical thing, but let's come on, let's catch
We
up
need a
with the
rebuild.
times.
We got to bring Taylor Hall in.
Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Fenway Park.
Fenway Park. So there's two times. One time was like I got a seat. And I'm like, oh, this is sick. And I sit down, and there's a fucking pole right here.
Oh,
You ever
yes.
have
Those
one
are
of
the best
those?
seats.
I'm like, why?
The person that brought you was like, oh, $12 for tickets? Sick. I'm taking that.
Sick, dude.
Every other seat's like $50.
Right.
And I got that at TD Garden before, too. It's a fact.
And I'm
Like
just
right behind a pole.
I'm sitting there like at a pole, just like the same width as like the seat, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I love this game. This is
perfect.
so good.
$12 seats. Love it.
And then like the seats is so small. Where was I? What was it? Me and Tara? I can't remember who it was, but we were in the Fenway Park. I think we were like 6 rows behind home plate. You know how like you know how it's like. It's not slanted where like you could see above the person, like it's just kind of right there. Some dude had been like 6'5" sitting in front of me, and I could not
Right
see
behind a
around
big
him.
Joe
Like,
Prioli.
yeah, I think I
Sick.
took a photo of him. I'll have to find it and put it right here. Just like this dude's like, all I can see is this dude's like back and like his head, and I'm like, sick dude, like love this game.
Yeah.
But
From one pole to another.
I still want to. I'm not a big baseball fan anymore, but I still want to go to a Sox game and go to those Green Monster seats.
Yeah,
I've
it's
always
just-
wanted to do
I
that.
actually, my buddy Cal and I back in college, shout out Cal, there was a post from, I went to Mass College of Pharmacy for a couple of years, thought I wanted to be a doctor, frig that. There was a post about like how many like workout equipment sets there were at the school gym, and me and him were the only 2 people commenting on the Facebook page. We were like, just throwing numbers out there. Eventually they were just like, here, fucking have the tickets. And we went and sat on the Green Monster. It was sick, dude. It was
That's
sick.
awesome. That's so sick. I wonder how much they are, like, not now, but like, wonder how much they are in general. They must be pricey.
I
as
think
shit.
so, yeah.
One day, buddy. One day we'll get
We'll
there.
get there.
So this will be the last topic that I have this week. But so I actually posted this on Instagram earlier this week, and actually it's been 2 teams that I've been following because I've been so interested. I've been following the standings, and like these two are like neck and neck. So games to watch out for this week. And I'm actually doing this right. This will be dropping Monday, and
Nice. Timing's great.
Timing's perfect.
56-game season. Most teams have about 6 games left to play outside of the Canucks, who have 12.
And we
like
fucking,
on average.
we finally nailed it.
We did
Yep.
it. We did it, buddy.
We did it.
End of the season, we figured it
We
out.
figured it out finally.
Great.
Maybe next season we'll have fun. Dialed in.
Maybe not. Maybe end of next season.
Maybe in the next season. Yeah, we got this. So, anyways, it's gonna drop Monday, and actually that night, they'll be playing too. So, from the Central Division, the Nashville Predators are in 4th place with 56 points, and the Dallas Stars are in 5th with 54 points. So they're really neck and neck. I've been very interested in these games. Dallas can knock Nashville out of playoff contention. Tomorrow, which is this Saturday, so you guys won't see this. Beautiful. We probably won't even put it up, but you guys will know who won or who lost. Dallas and the Preds play each other for the last time this season, so that'll be an interesting game. Nashville then has 4 games left after that, and Dallas has 5 games. Monday, Dallas versus Florida, and then Preds versus Columbus. You have Wednesday, Dallas versus Tampa, and the Preds versus Columbus. Friday, you have Dallas versus Tampa. Saturday, you have Preds versus Columbus. And Sunday, you have Dallas versus Chicago. Dallas has a tough schedule ahead of them compared to the Predators, but around this time, with the clinched teams like Tampa and Florida, they like to give players breaks before entering the playoffs to give new players a chance in the NHL, which could help Dallas kick Nashville out of the playoffs.
Well, timeout. The other thing to look at here, Tampa and Florida. Well, actually, maybe not. Tampa and Florida could both. They both clinched.
Mm-hmm.
The Hurricanes are in first with games in hand. The first thing I was going to say is Dallas and Tampa. Sorry, Jesus
Champa?
Christ. No, yeah, Champa
Champa.
and Florida are at 71 and 70 points. So they are fighting for second and third seeding. But the other thing to keep in mind is the Hurricanes have 6 games in hand with 73 points. So anything up there could change in the next 4 to 6 games.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if they'll actually rest anyone because they're going to want better seeding and to be able to play against the Predators or the Stars versus the Panthers, Lightning, or Hurricane. They could play against better worse competition, let's say, if they get that top slot.
If they do it.
Right.
And that's an if. If Florida and Tampa are just like...
But it's not a huge if. It's a 3-point difference between the 3 teams.
Yeah.
That's 1.5 wins, you know? Right. So it could happen. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of rest for any of these teams these next few games. But initially, I did see what you're saying. I just think that the Preds have a better schedule for themselves to try and make something happen here.
for sure. Compared to Dallas. Dallas has a rough road ahead of them.
And like I just said, Tampa is going to want those points against Dallas.
Right. And they've already... Was it Tampa that just shut out Dallas? It was like 3-0 last week, right? So... I don't know. But who do you got?
Making the playoffs?
Who do you got making the playoffs?
It's going to be the Predators, in my eyes.
It's going to be the Preds?
I think so. I don't think Dallas has the late season push that they need for this right now.
Right.
And I think that, like we said, their schedule is much harder. And I think the teams they're playing are going to fight for their points more than Columbus and Chicago are going to.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, I know they're going to have the push, but what if Dallas, for some reason, just like...
It could happen, man. It's only a 2-point swing.
Playoffs too,
you know?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's so close. So those are interesting games to definitely look out for after this episode drops for you guys.
Are you taking the Preds or Dallas?
I'm gonna take the Preds.
Yeah, I think it's the Preds there.
Yeah, I was watching the Preds because I've been watching them, and Antoine Hudobin and Jake Ottinger they've looked really good. Unfortunately, like the rest of the team is like kind of slacked off.
I think it hurt them at the beginning of the season when it was announced that Sagan was out, and I think Radulov got hurt in the middle of the season, potentially.
I think so, something like that, yeah. And then Matthias Janmark left.
Yep. So it's just tough
it's just
to maintain. And I think they were underdogs that ended up at the Stanley Cup Finals and really put on a show for themselves.
Right. And UC Saros, man, he took over that starting position, man.
Did he? He's taking it over Rebecca?
Unbelievable.
What do you think starting the playoffs for them if they make it?
I'd say UC Saros.
No shit, huh?
For sure. He's been on fire. So I see Pecorino right in the pine. And
That's
UC
crazy.
Saros getting the start.
Another Fleury and Murray situation.
Fleury-Murray situation,
Could
or
be. Passing the torch.
now Robin Leonard and Fleury situation. Who do you got starting? Robin Leonard.
I haven't tracked them too well. Get this: the Golden Knights are 10-0-0 in their last 10 games. They are fucking hot right now. 72 points. They've clinched their playoffs. The Avalanche and the Wild are tied for second with 66 points. The Avalanche are technically in second. The Wild are in third, probably based on head-to-head. And the Blues are fighting to maintain in the West. They haven't clinched yet, but they're 5 points ahead of the Yotes. It probably is going to happen. They have games in hand, too. But the Knights are red hot. That's why I wore the hat tonight. Like, I think the Knights are probably the best-looking team other than the Maple Leafs going into the playoffs.
Yeah, like what?
Flicking over to the North, the only team to clinch in the North is the
Toronto.
Maple Leafs with 69 points.
Right.
The Oilers, Jets, and Canadiens 60, 57, 53. So it's kind of set, I think, in my eyes, that the Oilers and Jets are making it. The Canadiens could be chased down by the Flames, but that's really it there. And then in the East, Capitals and Penguins have already clinched 69 points each. Islanders 65, Bruins 64, and the Rangers tailing them at 58 outside of the playoff.
Yeah, I
picture
think the
now.
Bruins have picked up a few points now ahead of.
Paul's been producing pretty well for them, honestly.
So I think Bruins should be able to make it. I know, like again, Rangers were.
Adam
on that
Fox,
tail.
red hot, man. They're 7-3-0 in their last 10. Bruins are 8-2-0.
Was that Adam Fox that picked up that trophy?
Yes, and wave 2. There was a I don't want to say Marine, but there was a military personnel above where the Islanders were entering in the Zamboni doors.
But it was cropped out.
They cropped out the Marine, so it looked like he's waving at the opposing team for the Knights. Hilarious.
So Varlamov is just kind of sitting there, and so is the rest of the team where they're coming in, and they're giving him the trophy like literally in front of where they're like. So they're just waiting for him, and so it's a zoomed out shot of him waving to like all like the everyone, but they cropped it out. So all you see,
he's literally waving to the military personnel
guys,
that's right there. Yeah.
But they have it cropped out, so it just looks like he's waving to like Varlamov, who's just like,
fuck you guys, check this trophy out.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know. I think it's I forget what the name of the trophy is. We'll obviously have it here.
Right.
But it's similar to like the 7th player award because you're like the important factor on the ice. You know? But yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little time, or how long are we running right now?
We got some time. We got like a little 5 minutes.
We've talked about in the past about being like a gear nerd and caring so much about your gear, and it's never been a factor to me because I've bought used gear my whole life, my whole career, and just you see it right there. Look at all those puck marks. You wouldn't believe how many more went past me, but it's never really been a factor. And now I've done like such a deep dive, so much research. My wife told me for my wedding gift, obviously like pick whatever you want kind of thing, and we were looking at like initially I wanted like a Breitling watch. I was like, we got you like this crazy engagement ring, like swing me like a sick watch. But I realized that that's like a down the line career retirement goal because a Breitling watch is like $7,000 to $10,000.
Right.
And I'm like, it's kind of like a huge waste of money if I make her take out like a credit card and buy me that to just have a watch on my wrist. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, I'm not really that kind of guy either. So I was like thinking more realistically, like, what am I going to spend on her for a wedding gift? And I was like, you could get me like custom goalie pads. And that's like right up my alley. I'm going to use them all the time. It's my thing.
Right.
And it obviously won't happen as much anymore now that I have baby Emma. But when I do get to use them, I'm going to be fucking thrilled. So I've been doing my research and shit, and I really like the Bauer 2X Pros that came out a few years ago. I've seen a ton of good reviews for them online. They alternate every year where it goes from Vapor to Supreme to Vapor back and forth.
Yep.
The 2X Pros came out 2 years ago. I forget how it goes, whatever. The Supremes were last year. So this year are the Vapor Hyper Lights.
Yeah.
And I'm like
2S.
super interested in those. And I've been doing a ton of research. They're actually dropping May 15th is when they're available to the public. I can custom order them now, and they're ready usually 12 weeks out. But where I haven't done any of this research, any of this information at all yet, I've been talking with the Bauer store, Goalie Monkey, and they're like, we really want you to obviously come in and try them out in the store.
Right.
The Bauer store has ice that they're hopefully going to have up and running for me, and they're going to have the pads shortly. They don't have them now, so I can't even try them out yet. But I've literally already customized them upstairs to the specs that I can understand, and things that I don't, I've just picked random things, and I'm going to take it to the store and have them help me.
You're going to love them.
Dude, like, I can't wait. And the only thing that's going to disappoint me, personally, like, it sounds wicked lame, but these Hyperlights look so sick. Last year's model with the Supremes, I think their Ultrasonics was last year's, and they just don't look the same. Like, they look like they have like a shape to them. Where the Hyperlights are one flat face. There's no pad roll. Is that what that's called?
That's what they call them. They call them knee rolls.
Knee rolls here, but this, I forget what they call that. That's basically rebound control.
Oh yeah.
But those on Bauer's are like rounded.
Yeah, they're
so
like
it's one
rounded up.
flat face.
Yep.
And it's honestly, I think it was a $400 difference. If I want my own graphic on the pad, like I can pick whatever the hell I want.
Oh yeah, Bauer could do whatever the hell.
Yeah, and I just don't really have anything, so I don't think I'm going to spring that. And I'm going to go for the step below that's like $200 in the middle, and I can customize the front face to whatever it usually comes with, and do the back however I want it, and do my research. And I'm like over the moon thrilled to do this. Like, these are going to be like the pads for the rest of my life.
I remember I was telling you, like, I'm a big Vaughn guy, but if I was ever to try anything at this point, like, a lot of what I wear has switched to Bauer. Like, I remember back in the day, Bauer was just like this okay brand.
Middle of the road is what I've heard.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Like, so when I was playing Stinky Socks, I can't remember his name for life of me. He was a Bauer
a rep.
And so I got to try Bauer's out a lot. And I remember the RX-7s first came out, and I got to try them out before like they were even like out. And he goes, yeah, try them out if you want, and just let me know like what you think of them, and I'll just type it up and shit. So I was like, okay, cool. And I hated them, man. Like, I was telling him, like, they felt like plungers. Like when you went down on the butterfly, like trying to get back up, like you was stuck on the ice. And like I was like, God, I hate Bauer. But then like years later, and by years I mean like probably like just 3 or 4 years ago, I was starting to like check out Bauer's again, and I'm like, holy shit. And like, I gotta tell you, like, not my pads, but like a good amount of it's like has been switched to Bauer, and like I really want to check out those pads because they've come a long fucking way from where they are. Like I refuse to get any other stick besides Bauer. Like my Bauer Vapors, that's it. Like I'm going there. My mask, I have the CCM right here, but I want to upgrade, and it's gonna be like a Bauer. and I want to try out those pads like what you're talking about, the Supreme 2S.
Yeah, if I get them, I don't mind you borrowing them at all.
Right.
You know.
And it's like I was saying, the skates, the CCMs that I switched over, I was gonna go for the true skates, $1,000 true skates, that ones that conform to your foot. And the guy's like, well, have you tried these Bauer 2S Pros? I'm like, I'll give them a go. And as soon as I put them on, I'm like, oh my God, these are incredible. And I was like, here's my credit card, I'll take them. And I love them to this day.
So when I talked to the dude at the Bauer store too, which was cool, I was like, I know that like this is probably going to be a biased question. You're going to give me like a biased answer, but what if like Bauer isn't for me? Like, I don't know anything. I've just researched and done my shit online and saw that Bauer, these new ones have just been like nails. Mm-hmm. And he was like, honestly, I don't actually work for Bauer. I work for Pure Hockey technically. Yeah. And I can tell you that there's a ton of other brands for you to look at out there. But Bauer, the reason they alternate Vapor to Supreme every other year is that you can, like, they're trying to find a pad for everyone. Right. And you might really fall in love with the Vapor Hyper Lights online and look at them and be like, these look sick. We can make something happen for you with the Supreme build on the back, which is what the Pro spec can be. Mm-hmm. But they're built for two different players, two different goalies, two different styles. So you can have a Vapor style pad with the Supreme look or vice versa. And we have a pad for everyone. Right. We want to make that happen for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, if I can make this happen, like, I'm so thrilled. Like, I showed you the picture upstairs I'm going to throw right here too. And I've picked out jerseys that I'm going to throw around the horn here. And I can't wait to fucking get these done. But the worst part for me is now the wait because they drop May 15th. The store gets them like a week or two early. So they'll call me either this week or next week and be like, hey, we have them in whenever you want to come up, try them on. We can help you build out your customization. Right. And then from there, it's 12 weeks till I get them. So once I get my second vaccine, I can't wait to get back on the ice and really play.
I remember the first actual custom pair I got. It was the Vaughn V5s.
No shit. You know what? Like, I never took into consideration how much, like, seeing how happy I am about this, how much that meant to you, because I was like, sick. It's just you ordered custom pads. Yeah. Like,
but once
I don't
you
care.
Customize your pads, man, it's like, this is me.
That's why I care about the gear now, because before this, I was like, I literally don't care. Those work.
Yeah, right.
Like, I've won championships. I've lost championships in these. Like, they're pads.
But once you have pads that, like, your
custom,
own,
like, that's
like,
nuts.
All those of them.
You know?
So I remember I was at Pure Hockey, and I was looking at the V5s, and I was like, yeah, I want to get these. And we sat there, we customized them, and like, what colors do you want? And then he's like, what strappings do you want? And then
so sick.
One thing that was so funny with me with Vaughn, like how you just said Bauer is just like very casual, like you can put whatever you want on the pad. Vaughn, for some reason, is very kind of strict with what they want, because I remember I wanted like the VAU to be black or something like no.
Yes, you did. And then the GHN
to be red.
Or vice versa.
And so he's like, I don't think I could do that. So like we emailed like the Vaughn rep. Oh, we didn't email him. We called him, the Vaughn rep, and he goes, what team do you play for? I was like, oh, I'm just doing Bailey. He goes, yeah, we only do that for like professionals. I'm like, that's so fucking
weird.
That
was also one of the questions I asked the Bauer guy. I was like, I'm honestly some beer league bum. Like, should I pick the Pro Custom or should I pick this? He's like, you can pick anything you want. There's no limit, because you told me that initially. And I was like, okay. So when I asked him that, like, on the regular, I picked the regular one because I was like, I shouldn't pick Pro because I'm not Pro. Right. And I was like, I want the Bauer to be this color, but the Hyperlight to be this color. And I could do that. Right. I couldn't chop up the word Bauer, but the Pro Custom, you can literally take any graphic you want. Like Matt's helmet here, you could have Superman on his pads, like half and half. I could do that if I want to. And I was talking to Mary Kate. I was like,
Bauer's changed the game with that.
I was like, I don't really have anything. Like, the only thing I could think of would be like my family crest, but then like the glove and blocker would be the same too.
Right.
I don't know. It's just not that important to me. I wouldn't pay $400 to do that.
First, yeah.
I would pay the $200 to make the pad however I want, but I need to understand what I'm doing.
Right.
And he's like, that's exactly what we can
logo or whatever.
Exactly.
You can do it, yeah.
So that's why when I showed you guys the pads and the jerseys that I want to pick, I really want to match my jersey to my pads, and the teams I play for aren't necessarily these colors, but I'm going to wear the jersey that I want to wear with these pads because it just looks fucking sweet. I showed you it. You were like, oh, silver? Right? You were kind of like shocked.
It was like silver blue, and I was like, damn, that's a sick. I did.
No, but you were like, why silver? Almost, because it's always a white.
It's always white.
And for me, it was just like, it just looks sharp.
It does.
And I want to see, like, when they get the actual product in stores. I don't want to order them before I see it, because silver could come out like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it
Right.
could be like shiny silver.
It did just
I don't want that.
it took me by surprise because like normally it's like white and then red or
Yep,
whatever,
yep.
but like you're able to like pick like no silver and like blue, which is gonna look fucking sick when
Yeah.
you finally get it.
I hope like that Preds jersey, that alternate would look
Right,
awesome
that's
with it.
awesome.
But I don't want like that flashy silver. Like, have you seen like?
Yeah,
It's almost like the Marty Turco. We talked about it before. The gold tone. But I don't want that for my
Right.
silver. I want like a matte silver.
Right,
almost,
right,
you
right.
know, like a gray.
And I guarantee when you go to the bar store, you tell them that and be like, okay, yeah, this
And
is
honestly, just by the way the pads look, like physically, I feel like the silver is going to be like that. You know what I mean?
for sure.
It's not just going to be like a sharp.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine. The worst is the weight, man. I think when I did the V5s for the first time, I think I did them in March, and I was waiting for them to be like, yeah, you'll get it in like a month, but I didn't get them to like, oh god, I think it was like September or October or something like that. So like you had to wait because when especially like Bauer or like CCM or whatever, like. If you're a professional, they come first, man. You could you could put it in like
they'll bounce our order.
Be like, no,
They'll bounce our order to get theirs done, dude.
We got
and it
Henrik
makes sense.
Lundqvist wanting like a custom set.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing them first. Yep. So it takes a little while, but once you get them, it's like,
oh, it's Christmas Day all over again, right?
Yep. I still remember I got them, and I wasn't playing that much for some reason, but like I used to just like watch hockey and just have them on. Like I'd just put them on, just sit there with the gloves.
Fucking
and
weirdo.
block it.
That's a weirdo goalie move for sure. The big thing for me on the Bauer Hyperlights, the knee pad that you see that I dropped down to, you can see it on screen in the center there. There's two different kinds called the Stabila Flex and the Stabila Slide. The Stabila Flex is new this year, and it makes it so that even though it's a flat face on the Bauers, where mine have the knee roll that Matt was talking about, this pad literally like gives you more wiggle room in, out, like all directions with the knee drop. And I can't, dude, it's just like, I'm just like, it.
You're in
I
heaven.
understand why people care so much, but at the same time, I care this one time because I'm only doing it this one time. And the next time that I'll care and do my research is when I rebuy.
Right.
I'm not going to be like keeping up with these things.
No,
but
no.
I understand the professionals that do.
That
you
too,
know?
Yep. Yeah.
But like for me and
it's the
you and
same
like
with me,
the
like,
bums that post in these pages, like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't wait for this. Like, it's super cool to me right now.
Right.
But it's not going to be once I have
No,
them. It's
no.
like I have my pads and I'm happy.
some guys got to go like if I had the V5s, but like, oh, I gotta get the V6s or whatever. But
Jesus Christ.
I had the V5s that lasted forever, man, and like
It depends on how much you play too.
I only got the V7s that you saw right there because like I got a whole set. That whole set was $600, and you're like,
That's a steal.
How the fuck do you not do that?
First perspective,
Yeah.
the price range is $2,800, $3,000, $3,200.
Right.
So the $2,800 is just straight customized.
Right.
The $3,000 is customized the way I want, the front and the back.
Right.
And then the $3,200 was the graphic design on the front for
Right.
whatever image I want. So
Right.
for him to get those for $600, that's
And
sweet.
that's glove and blocker too.
Mhm.
So it's like you couldn't let that go, and I didn't like them. And that's when,
I swooped in for these CCMs. You did the same thing,
yeah,
but they were these pads, and I bought them from you for about $5, and I think you paid $8.
yeah, I think
Something like that.
It was on. This is GGSU, which is I'm not a fan of GGSU anymore, but yeah, I got them off there from some guy. And $5?
You sold them to me for $5.
And I think I got them for like
And I got pads,
8
glove, and
from-
blocker. I was fucking amped
Right.
over the moon, and they're sick for me.
Right.
Like they're the right feel,
Mhm.
but they weren't for you.
Oh yeah, I didn't like them, so I was like, oh well, if they're just gonna sit, man, and you need a new set,
And you were like out $300 for it, and now you're out $600 for these V7s. You know,
they're
and
just kind of
that's
sitting there.
pads, glove, and blocker.
Right.
$600.
600.
That's still a steal for a buy, but you should flip them to someone that's going to use them.
I tried, man. I've tried sideline swap. I tried
No shit.
fucking everything.
No
Like
shit.
no one's gonna buy. And at this point, V7s, what do you think they're worth? Like now that the V9s are out.
Dude, selling them at $600 for what you paid for them, same thing. I think you could still get it for the full set. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at paying $3,000 for custom Bowers.
Right.
You know,
Oh, yeah, you're
and at the store, if I want no customization, nothing, it's $1,800. I think $1,900. So
Right.
I don't know. I think you could still get them.
Probably still get
So,
$600. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's discouraging when you've tried and haven't gotten
Right.
anywhere.
I
but-
think the worst thing for me that was just like, I just fucking keep them is I went to the last thing I wanted to do was go to Play It Against Sports, but I was like, let me just go there.
they'll
see.
lowball you big time. That's
They
like
fucking-
Craigslist. Yeah,
Insane lowballed me. I brought the entire set, and he goes, "How much did you pay for those?" I was like, $600. But he goes, "We're probably gonna give you like maybe $100 for the whole thing."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, I'm
but
gonna fucking
it
go somewhere else."
ends up like it sucks because it's slimy of them, but it's also a good thing that they're doing because I could go to play it again as a goalie and get a set for $400.
Yep,
And I'm like, holy shit, this is a steal.
Right.
You know?
Play it again. I don't know if it's a New England thing, but if you ever played against sports and you're like just getting into
I think
hockey,
it's definitely a New England
definitely
thing.
check those out. Because I've gone to play it against sports. Actually, they played again in Norwood. Actually, as a hockey set back there, and I've gone around and checked shit out. I'm
I
like,
didn't know there was one in Norwood. I go to the Dedham one.
Dedham.
They-
Sorry,
oh,
it's
Dedham.
the Dedham one. That I
There
was
used to
thinking
be one down this way. It closed.
of. Yep. And they have a hockey thing, and I'm looking around. I was like, wow, this is like great selection for guys just like
They
trying to get into
definitely have a
it.
good selection. But obviously, it's not like, I like these pads. Do you have them in this size? It's literally like,
It's just
this is what we
pal.
have. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But again, if you want to get into it, like
That's the way to
definitely
go
check that out
for sure.
Yeah,
Buy refurbished for your first set. I bought like 1995 Marty Turco TPSs that I felt
I forgot
everything.
about
Remember those? We'll have those up in a few weeks. We'll swap.
You still have
I
those?
still have them. That's my first set, man. I'm never getting rid of those.
Holy shit!
That's like my first set. We'll put those up in a few weeks, but we're gonna swap out the pads quite a bit, I think.
okay. And I have my V5s in my
Yeah,
basement. I'll
we
bring those
can
over
chuck
too.
them all up. I have my white Reeboks. We'll have the new Bowers I can throw up too. Oh man, I love it, dude. Those TPSs were hilarious. I
Those
felt
are
everything.
great.
I would get a slapper from the point, and my right pad would make the save, and the puck would like kick to the corner, but my pad would be behind my left pad because I fucking felt it, man. Hilarious. And they would get so heavy.
I'm trying to remember that you had the Chris Ball Hue pads too. Was it? Oh no, am I thinking those were the red TPSs?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
What was the other pads you had? You had the red.
I had red,
TPSs?
white, and blue, but it was really red, blue, and white Reeboks as well. And I had all white.
That's right.
Reeboks
Yep.
too. Reebok was my brand once I left the TPSs,
TPS.
and then I went to.
But
CCM.
you left TPS when TPS was already gone for you.
Yeah. I picked up TPS when Jacques Plant retired.
All right, so great news. Want to call it?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Awesome.
What are you drinking tonight?
I got Pink Whitney.
Shout out Spittin' Chicklets.
I figured if we're gonna talk about them real quick here, might as well.
Tell them their
might as well
liquor's
drink
fucking
this
amazing.
Shit.
I bought a I think I mentioned it to you on show, maybe not. The liquor store I was working at part time. They had 99 variety packs, so they're 99 proof, 49.5% alcohol per volume. There's a variety pack, so I got, is it 10 or 12? I forget. It was $10, and there's 10 or 12. I think it's 10 different flavors,
Yeah.
and this is 99 bananas. So down the hatch, get my
That's good.
water ready.
There we
It's
go.
vodka.
Damn, dude, these are good. I like these. You don't like that one? That's the first one. That's the fucking first one I've seen you struggle with.
Oh,
Wow.
let's get some burn to it.
That's the first one I've seen you struggle with.
Eyes are watering.
And I'm the one that picked that for you. I saw banana. I was like, I want to see
But it's
what
not the
you thought.
flavor. It's it's the ABV because the McGillicuddy is like 22%. These are 49. Whew. Feeling it, bud. Oh man.
I mean, we're also. Oh, did you finish the drink I made?
Yeah. Yours still going, or
Oh, yeah, I'm still working on
I
it.
slammed mine. Mine was good. So bartenders usually do like a 4 or 5 count behind the bar when they make drinks.
I did like a
I was
20.
watching Matt because he's like, "Oh, I'll make a drink for both of us," and I was counting his out to see like what he did because I was like, "This guy's fucking clueless. He's just gonna pour a shit ton of vodka." Because I've seen him do Jameson ginger, like he can do that, but he's pouring it. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15.
Jesus.
And he did a 15 count, but it was like a count is slower than that. So he did his. I was like, dude, that's like 3 bar drinks. And he's like, yeah, it's all right. I do Jameson like this. I'm like, okay, enjoy. And then
And I took a sip, and I was like, whoa,
yeah,
that is
and then
strong.
he pours mine. So like, I'll tell you how to pour mine. So I was gonna do a 5 count, but where he did 15, I was like, I'll push to 8. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how the actual count goes. And that's how I counted yours out, but to 15.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, we're good. Mine was fucking strong as hell, dude. Mine was good. But I had you come back with the crayon after I took a couple sips and add some to it.
That was
so-
good. But we're chilling after this anyway, so I was like, I might as well just take my time.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. Of course.
So, want to call it out? Wanna
Yeah,
be the guy?
so just a quick heads up. Next week will probably be the last week before the
Playoffs.
season ends, you know. We'll probably have a couple games after next week's episode.
Right. Next week will be good. I was actually working on something for this week, but I'm like, no, it'd be perfect for next week. It's going to be a breakdown of the goalies for the each 4 teams. Sorry, what the fuck am I trying to say? Each 4 teams in each division, their
every
goalies.
team's goalies for the playoffs.
Right, and just like because goalies are huge, man. You got to go into the playoffs. You need a hot goalie.
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
need one.
For sure.
So we're gonna talk about the goalies and just see where they're at, and I think that'll give people like a kind of heads up on what team is gonna do what possibly for the playoffs. So I think this next episode will be a good episode. This episode will be good too.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll find out. We're probably gonna get dusted on. I've talked about Lord of the Rings a little too much.
All right, sign us off.
What a fucking savage. Are you aiming for the fucking
No.
camera? Bastard.
Maybe.
Fucker. My camera. I thought you were going to sign us off.
No, you do the intro, you do the outro.
All right.
Peace.
Jesus.
Don't cut me off. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, I'll cut you off this time. All right. Thank you, guys. Anyone want to... what the fuck do we usually say?
I fucking hate you. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. I knew that, by the way.
Fuck off.